He was screaming in pain. His head was tilted unnaturally to one side, and his body trembled every time he tried to move. He kept trying to stand up, over and over again, as if he believed that if he could just get on his feet, someone would finally notice him. But people walked past. Some slowed down. Some looked for a second. Then they kept going. He was lying there on the roadside, desperate and broken, calling for help in the only way he could. Only one young girl stopped. She didn't know what else to do, so she placed a small pile of dog food near him before hurrying off to work. Maybe she felt guilty. Maybe she was afraid. But at least she didn't pretend he didn't exist. When we received the call, the person who contacted us said his eyes looked empty, not angry, not aggressive, just tired. Deeply tired. As if he had already accepted that this was where his life would end. It took us 5 hours to drive to where he was. 5 long hours of imagining the worst. When we finally arrived, my heart dropped. He was still there. Lying exactly where he had been described, barely moving. His breathing was shallow. His body looked completely exhausted, like he had fought for too long and had nothing left. We rushed him into the car and drove straight to the nearest veterinary clinic. By the time we reached the hospital, he was nearly unconscious. The veterinarian examined him immediately. After scans and careful assessment, the diagnosis was devastating. He was suffering from epilepsy. His pelvis was fractured. There was severe trauma consistent with either being hit by a vehicle or violently beaten. His injuries were so serious that the doctor warned us gently he might never recover. In that moment, I felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on us. But when I looked at him, even in his fragile state, there was something in his eyes. He didn't want to give up. So neither could we. The medical team poured all of their energy into stabilizing him. Medication for seizures, pain management, careful monitoring, fluids, gentle repositioning to prevent further damage. The first few days were critical. Every small sign of improvement felt like a fragile victory. Then, a few days later, something happened. He ate. It wasn't much. Just a few small bites. But after everything he had been through, that small act felt monumental. I remember smiling through tears because I understood what it meant. He was choosing to live. That tiny movement lifting his head to eat was more than a physical action. It was a turning point. A shift in his story. From surviving to fighting. His will to live was stronger than any of us expected. On the 20th day, I began helping him try to stand again. His legs trembled violently. His back end collapsed under his weight. Every attempt looked painful. But he didn't stop trying. We supported him with harnesses, soft braces, and patient hands. Step by step, second by second, we encouraged his muscles to remember what it meant to move. There were days when progress seemed invisible. Days when I wondered if we were asking too much of him. But then he would look up at me tired, determined, and try again. Even when his legs were weak, he moved constantly. Not recklessly, but restlessly. As if he was afraid that if he stopped moving, he might lose everything he had regained. Weeks passed. Then months. 3 months after that desperate call, something incredible happened. He stood. Not for a second. Not with full support. He stood on his own. And then, he walked. Slowly. Unevenly. Carefully. But he walked. I watched his first real steps with tears blurring my vision. I couldn't even hide it. I didn't want to. After everything, the seizures, the fracture, the warnings that he might never recover, here he was, proving all of us wrong. The room felt silent except for the sound of his paws touching the floor. Each step was a miracle. Each movement was proof that hope is not naive, it is powerful. The effort, the sleepless nights, the uncertainty. It had all been worth it. He didn't just survive. He overcame. And when he finally walked toward me with steady steps, I felt something I can't fully describe. Relief. Pride. Gratitude. Awe. This dog, who had once lain screaming by the roadside, ignored by strangers, had fought his way back into life. He had rewritten his own ending. We named him Xena. Today, when I watch him move freely, when I see the confidence in his posture and the spark back in his eyes, I sometimes struggle to believe it's the same dog. But it is. And every time he runs, every time he walks without fear, I am reminded of something simple but profound. Miracles don't happen overnight. They happen through patience, persistence, and refusing to give up when everything feels hopeless. Xena is not just a survivor. He is a reminder that even when the world walks past you, one act of kindness can change everything. And sometimes, the miracle you're waiting for is already fighting inside you.